Yo! Okay, so, welcome to Poi 3 with your teacher, Eric. So, I wanted to talk about direction and its relevance in spinning, as well as ways to change direction and make it so while you are spinning, it feels like when you change direction, it flows a little more natural. We know a stall can be used to change direction, right? That's the most basic way to change direction. Another way to change direction is with a pendulum, because essentially a pendulum is a stall, but instead of the stall point being isolated at the poi head, in theory I guess, it's kind of stalled isolated at your hand, if you will. I don't think that's really the correct term. I'm no Alien John, I can't really put it there, but that's the way I kind of look at it. So if you're spinning, and say you're doing low to high reels, okay, and you pendulum one, all of a sudden you could get into butterfly, or you could stall one, right? So the reason I want to bring this up is, when you're learning poi, everyone is directional dominant. Some people may say, you know, they feel like they are comfortable both directions. Even, you know, the advanced spitters, what I'm talking about, will say they're comfortable both directions. But in reality, if you watch them, when they initiate a simple 3-beat weave, most of the time they will always initiate a forward on either the left or right side, all the time. For me, I almost always initiate a forward on my left side, meaning I spin dominantly to my left. Reason I really kind of am getting to this, I guess, is I want to know where your dominance is. When you do a fountain, is your 3-beat forward on your left or right side? Because that will tell me later on down the road when I'm teaching you stuff, which direction to teach it to you first, and different ways I can explain that. Because, for example, because I do a forward weave on my left, learning this wall plane weave, I can teach a lot easier than if I spin my forward on my right and I try to teach the same kind of outer wall plane weave but on my right side. This one is a lot harder for me. I can teach it, but it's going to take a little bit more time because I have to, I guess, explain it differently because of my natural way of thinking, I guess. So, I guess that's probably a good move to teach you, unless I have already, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Dang, yeah, I guess that's really it. Just, work on direction changing, stuff like that. Oh, triquetras. These cool little things. I don't think I've seen you do them, and I'm not sure if we've ever brought them up to each other, but I figured I could explain them real quick. So, like in staff, let's see, hold on. I don't really have a staff, but I do have a contact stick. So, like staff, if you do a basic circle, when you break that circle up, its natural rotation is a 3-beat. You kind of have to force a 3-beat on a circle because I don't know the correct term. I believe it was Alien John who I found it out from in some post, but the natural way you break up an anti-spin circle is with 3 points. So, if you think about relation to hand and poi, you have these multiple points of movement, right? You can do a full extension, which is an isolation of your shoulder, or you can do a simple spin, which is like an isolation of your elbow. You can do isolation of the hand, isolation of the center, and then isolation of the poi head, which I can't do, and I'm not even going to bother. So if you take all those things into thought, and you're doing a forward butterfly, you have this whole wall planing circle in front of you. if you do the extension hand, so say you're doing forward butterfly and you want your left hand to be starting the anti-spin and your right hand to be doing the extension, your extension hand is going to isolate at your shoulder, and the catcher hand is going to follow that same path at your hand. So if you think about this right here, here's your isolation point, and your hand is the point of reference for your catcher hand. Meaning, if you ignore the extension hand and do a 3-point, your right hand is going to stay right next to it. Ignore really doing the 3-point, but when this boy is going this way, you're going to initiate by starting that circle. At first it's going to be very hard, and your points are going to get wonky and they're going to want to go here, there, left, right. My tip to you is, Dan actually was the one who I found this little trick from. It's like dipping a paint can. You dip, stroke, up, dip, stroke, up, dip, stroke, up. So you kind of dip your boy down, dip, up, dip, dip, up, dip, dip, up. And that up, I actually talked to Heather about it. It's strange when you do an anti-spin point at the top, because a lot of the time, at least for me when I was first learning them, I really tried to emphasize the fact that it was a pedal, that it was a point. I don't really know how to put it into words, but I later learned that whenever you're doing a top pedal for an anti-spin, it feels a little bit more natural to kind of let the weight do most of the work and to really kind of try to let it float through. The way I kind of got better at it, I guess, is by doing top caps. Simply by taking each hand, starting in one or the other quadrant. So say I'm spinning to my right and I'm on my left, you extension over, and then for this one you anti-spin over. So we go extension, anti-spin, extension, anti-spin, extension, anti-spin. And that anti-spin, try to only allow your hand to move in this arc. And once you get really good at playing around with that arc, you can really start to figure out how that circle in front of you can correspond and turn into really nice, awesome hybrids and all that cool stuff. So I hope that helped. Peace.